Hello. Welcome back
Hello.
to Burning Yammer, Japanese retrospective podcast, season 1, episode 3,
Did
subsection. Go ahead.
did we ever leave though? Because I've just been in the podcasting space the entire time, watching nothing but Japanese wrestling and the commercials.
Well, yes, we both just sat here since the last episode, and we just did the next one, and that's how we do all of them, but we don't want to break the fourth wall. That'll really give away what we're doing here.
Fourth wall, son. I'm on the fifth. Okay.
We just sit in a barren cube, except for an old television that shows AJPW shows, and then we record it into a gramophone, and then we send it via carrier pigeon.
And the entire time, Antonio Inoki is just screaming at us, and his giant chin is blocking out the sun.
He's actually crucified in the other room. It's a whole.
He had such sights to show us.
It's a whole Evangelion situation. I'm Bert.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Bert, and
That's it. That's all that's on my birth certificate is just Anthony. Nothing else.
Oh, see, I had a Bert certificate. That's the problem. Ha! That's why I'm Bert.
You see?
Certificate of Bert authenticity. So we watched this week. We went back to men's wrestling. Men fighting for their custody of their children in family court. All Japan, January 3rd, 1990, from Korakuen Hall. Yeah, this was
so.
Yes.
Okay, so this is something that I have to say about this. So, I assume that this aired, on television, weekly. Was this like a weekly event?
I can't tell you yet because I haven't watched enough of it, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. I'm pretty sure this is like Saturday night main event,
See, I'm almost wondering if it wasn't like
but Saturday night main event was more of like a periodic thing. I feel like this was weekly because they have a lot of shows. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah. The Saturday night main event was like a once every 3 or 4 months thing where you'd see, a cage match with Hogan where Hogan would just win all the time. He'd show up in the middle of other people's matches and win, and it would go down on his record as a win. Very strange.
It's more of a weekly show, I think, like WCW Nitro or, for example, Shotgun Saturday Night.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking of the worst show I can think of.
You see, I'm trying to think of when the time slot would be because it's almost made like the old Saturday morning WWE wrap up clip show that they would do every Saturday morning for kids.
Yeah, it was called Saturday Morning Slam or something like that. I remember this. That was when did they do?
Oh yeah,
2010.
I watched. No, they did it whenever I was a kid.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is, Saturday morning cartoons would end at 11 or 11:30. Because this was before X-Men came on at Fox Kids at 11:30 because it was just too edgy for the normal time slot.
Did they have Todd Pettengill?
No, normally. Well, actually, yeah. Because okay, do you remember the old ones where they'd be in the TV room and they'd be looking at the camera?
I never. Yes. Yeah. You'd have Todd Pettengill or
most likely, more often than not, if it was Lord Alfred Hayes or Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah. Yep. And they're
they'd
just
be
talking about TVs, oh my gosh, last week this important thing happened. It's I think it's the olden equivalent of today's because I watched AEW last week and I went to look up the card and I got their website, and you know how if you go on a promotions website to look up what happened on the show, it's and then CM Punk fought Daniel Garcia. It's all exclamation points, and it lays out the whole match Daniel Garcia hit a kick, and then he did it, and the whole match is like that, and you're like, what the fuck? Somebody's really excited about this match, I guess.
Yeah, who's doing the actual play-by-play on this? Like,
somebody's writing all this down. But back in the day, Todd Pettengill or Gorilla Monsoon or Lord Alfred Hayes would come in. Lord Alfred Hayes would be like, last week, Jake Roberts gave The Undertaker such a shellacking, or whatever. And you'd be like, oh, okay, all right. But he's so excited about it, and you're like...
Shellac, if you don't know, comes from Indochina, a place that my family once owned.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. And now, children, let's talk about the Falklands. Fucking Lord Alfred Hayes. But, yeah, I get the feeling...
This week, there was a disappointing showing in Grenada.
It could have been... actually, that kind of ties into the show, because... I mean, Japanese crowds are different to begin with, but there's cheering. There's actually occasionally, somebody will yell something, and everybody will laugh, which is fun.
Yeah,
I like that.
I was noticing that.
I like that because the crowd is so, I wouldn't say subdued. They're so formal that when somebody yells something and gets into it, everybody goes, ah, ha, ha, oh, yes, we are here to have fun. It's like a movie theater or something when somebody yells at, the previews or something. But the other thing is the other half of the audience is
bring back Boss Baby.
Yeah, and everybody goes, yes, we love a good Boss Baby joke. But the other half of the audience that cheers really sounds like kids. It's like kids going, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So maybe that was the thing back then. But it's just weird when you watch Great Kabuki versus Kenta Kobashi, and it's kids yay, kill him, murder him to death, and you're like, well, oh, okay.
In a later match, we'll talk about that a little bit because I think I'm sussing out the demographics, and it's very interesting.
It's quite possible that this was a Saturday morning, but then of course that would be Friday. No, it would be Saturday afternoon here or something it would be Sunday morning. It's fucking the next day somehow. But so this show, first of all, the way these are cut, and there's nothing we can do about this. This is just the way the shows are. There's often no fooling about. You will get entrances on 3 of the 4 matches, but then it will just cut into the match. Yeah, I know they get ready and the crowd cheers, but they just cut it out.
Okay, so the thing is, I have watched in my time a lot of really cut up, American matches.
Yes.
And I have to say, this is good.
Yes.
I don't mind this because they generally will cut out the very beginnings, which, this is also a house show style place.
Right.
Because they're playing to a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And so the beginnings of those sometimes are just pleasers for the crowd or just reactions for them, which is fine to see sometimes.
Yeah.
But they have an hour time slot to fill because this show is 44 minutes. So that means they had, 20 or 16 minutes of commercials.
Right.
So this was an hour show. So they had to really get the stuff in. Mm-hmm. And this one was not bad as far as how they cut it up because I've seen American matches that have been cut up on old grimy VHSs that you get at a flea market from an old man with one eye.
Yep.
And, every time you go in there, he tries to sell you this Jake the Snake doll that has an arm missing, but he's like, oh, it's a collectible. And, it really scares a young person.
Yeah. When I think of WWE cut, edited matches, I think of I can't think of an example, but ECW is a good example when they got the ECW library and they just cut it to shit, which granted ECW pay-per-views were already often cut to shit, but they just take stuff out. They just cut matches up, remove stuff, and it's just awful. This was just they basically cut the beginning. Honestly, I think most of the time it's probably the announcer being this is this guy, this is that guy, they're going to have a singles match, da-da-da-da-da, the ring bell. They cut all that, which is like not a big deal they may cut a couple spots. It's hard to tell because it does seem like when they cut in, it's a big spot usually.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I've watched American ones where like, I'm watching the Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant fight
Jesus.
someone, and I'm into like, come on, I was a kid, and
I hate Jimmy Valiant, but go on. Yes.
oh man, I have not looked into Jimmy Valiant. He probably murdered someone anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
And like there was
Allegedly.
one specifically, allegedly,
Mm.
where like Jimmy Valiant, it's the beginning of the match, and he's grandstanding and hot dogging, and he goes to do a hip toss to the heel opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Does the hip toss, and the second the guy lands, there's a cut, and then all of a sudden, the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, is in a sleeper hold. And it's like, how did this happen? What?
Well, I'm guessing Jimmy Valiant hot dogged for another 10 minutes before he got put into sleeper. They're like, cut that shit. Nobody wants to watch it, which is, you know what? Absolutely correct. I do not. It's like if WWF went back and cut like the 15 minutes after a Hogan match where he fucking celebrates, you'd have like a fucking half-hour show.
My god.
Yeah. So,
and that was the weird thing in the Summit episode we watched,
yes,
where he was trying to do that, and everyone was like, I don't know what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, because they're like, yes, how nice.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay. Doing it a fifth time?
Go away.
Well, you said you were going to leave the ring.
Yes.
Why are you coming back in?
Yeah. Sayonara. See you. Go away. Yes. So the first match.
So, yeah, it cuts in, and I gotta say they probably cut a lot of this out because immediately Kabuki's face paint is just worn off it's been rubbed against sandpaper.
Yeah. Now I did want to say, and this is something I noticed in the Summit show we did. Kabuki, I think his face paint is supposed to be like the warrior type, the demolition mask type thing. Mm-hmm. But it wears off very quick, and it just makes it look... It just gets, the outlines, so it just looks like his face is fucking cut up. Like, he looks like a fucking corpse in the ring, and I'm like, oh my god, that's terrifying. And so it kind of works.
And he does the red mist at the beginning, so whenever you see him with this fucked up face paint, it's like, oh no, am I watching Hellraiser? Is this the new Xenobite?
Yeah, he has such shites. He has such shites to show you. He's not that bad.
In the middle of the match, the Great Kabuki just sprays a red mist, and all of a sudden a hand from hell comes out and just starts tearing his opponent apart. Or
who was the guy in TNA who came out and got Joe? You know what I'm talking about? What was that guy's name?
What?
He had a... Now I want to look this up. Fucking Samoa Joe got dragged into the ring or whatever. Ring Impact.
Was there a Hell character in
Evil.
Impact at the time?
Oh man.
Was it Abyss?
No, I think he was with Abyss or something, or the Sinister Minister. I want to find this dude's name because nobody's gonna remember what I'm talking about. And I'm not gonna find it, and this is something we'll have to cut out of this show. Okay, Samoa Joe, hand, ring, Impact. Is that gonna work? I want to look TNA, not Impact. That's what I'm doing wrong. Fuck, I want to know what this guy's name was. God damn it. 10 worst things TNA did with Samoa Joe.
See, I've seen stuff like that. I wasn't watching TNA at the time. I know at one point, he had a willy drawn on his face.
He did have, he had a big penor on his head. God damn it! What was this dude's name? Okay, what's the Sinister Minister's name?
James Mitchell.
James Mitchell. TNA.
I remember he just...
Okay,
Would have been Abyss, pretty sure.
It wasn't Abyss. It was this other guy with Abyss.
Oh, did they?
I don't think it was Lance Hoyt. Was it Lance Hoyt?
What? Lance Archer?
Yeah, but Lance Hoyt was part of the Sinister Minister thing.
Wow, he's...
Wait, no.
Really
no, I'm wrong. Abyss was fighting with Lance Hoyt at this. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at names. God damn it, what was this dude's name? Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Judas Messias. Oh my god, what a deep cut. Okay, hold on. God, that was hard to find.
Messias?
Judas Messias. Okay, Judas Messias. What was this dude's name?
That is a Vince fucking name.
Ricky Banderas is his real name. El Messias, Mil Muertes, Ricky Banderas, and King Muertes. Puerto Rican.
Oh, he was Mil Muertes in Lucha Underground? Holy shit.
I think so. But in TNA, he came out of the ring. Here, I'll find a picture. Delete. It's like it never happened. Okay, anyway. So
yeah.
Oh, that fucked up everything. That fucked up my videos, so we're definitely cutting this out. Okay. So Judas Messias, that's the guy that came out and cut to here. Judas Messias, that's the guy that came out of the TNA Impact.
Jeez. Oh,
what a weirdo. Anyway.
And is he the one who drew the willy on Samoa Joe's face?
No, I think that was probably Dixie Carter, or I assume he drew it on his own face. It looked shit. So
Can you imagine Dixie Carter just like super kicks the shit out of Samoa Joe and then just draws a willy on his face for the next 5 minutes?
I bet she just did it while he was asleep. You know? It's very detailed, though.
Why would Samoa Joe be sleeping near Dixie Carter, though?
Allegedly. So
stop. Cut that. Those are horrible allegations. Terrible. It should never be brought up
at the beginning of this show. Okay, so it's Great Kabuki versus Kenta Kobashi.
Which instantly I was like, oh, I'm in heaven.
Yeah, so we cut into the match, and Kenta Kobashi does a shoulder block to a springboard plancha to a splash off the apron to the outside. And I was like, okay, Jesus Christ. I guess I'm watching All Japan Wrestling, then holy fuck. Like, it just starts that way. And you're like, okay. So yeah, that happens.
Yeah, imagine being a little kid. You turn on your television, and this brick shithouse of a man, Kenta Kobashi, all of a sudden is like leaping from your television screen into your living room. Yeah, I see exactly why Kenta Kobashi has, the following in Japan that he does, because god damn.
He is a big, scary man. He starts kicking Kabuki in the back really stiffly. It was like, oh god, ow. Kabuki gets a really sick lariat.
Oh, yeah, to the back of his head, and it was like... Because, like, Kabuki absorbs all this, and then all of a sudden he just decides, nope, and he just blasts Kobashi in the back of the head.
Yeah, and he does a running arm breaker, and I appreciate the commentary. At this point, I started noticing it. The arm breaker, like, they really... Of course, they do call every vertical suplex a brainbuster, but that's okay.
You know one reason that is, don't you?
No. I know.
So a lot of the Japanese professional wrestling names, like, they had their own original names somewhat, but they standardized a lot of the names, generally tending towards English pronunciation. That's why you get, like elbow drop, arm breaker, things like that. That way, when two people were working, one being a gaijin, one being, a Japanese wrestler, they could still go through matches because they had that shared understanding of the moves.
Yeah, I know that. I just find it weird that a vertical suplex is a brainbuster as opposed to like a vertical or just a suplex. Like, I guess it's just easier. But, like, brainbusters to me are, like, delineated from vertical suplex in that you basically drop the guy more directionally onto their head and they kind of curl up at the end. Whereas a vertical, you just drop them on their back. But, like, I guess that's a thing that with time that has changed. Like, maybe back then there wasn't the delineation so much. And it was just kind of, yeah, it's basically the same thing. Who cares?
Well, no, I mean, in American wrestling, there was the delineation, but the thing is, the Japanese, I think I've heard this, who knows, were just like, that was the first thing they heard, so they just latched on. Because, I mean, you say suplex to them, and they're like, I don't know. You have to say tiger suplex, and then they understand.
I think later in the show, too, this will come up, but, like, I don't think Japanese wrestlers do as many verticals. They straight vertical suplexes. They pretty much do brainbusters or other types of suplexes, like in lieu of that. Whereas, like in America, it's pretty rare, at least back then, for people to do brainbusters. They more often just did verticals. So it's probably just a, translation thing. So he does this running arm breaker and he just works over Kobashi's arm for a long time, and I can hear Kobashi during this point going "ska ska" over and over, and I'm like, he's fucking cursing in the middle of the ring. I love it.
それにしてもこのグレート歌舞伎は大活躍でしたね。
特にですね、その天竜同盟とのスプリンタッグあるいはタッグマッチになりますとね、歌舞伎の進化が。
Yeah, Kenta's selling for Kabuki is amazing.
Yeah, this is kind of what I talked about on the Joshi show, but this is like he's in a rest hold. He is resting, but the entire time Kobashi's just like, like just fucking selling and selling and selling.
Like he's being killed.
Yeah, because it's not like you're going to gas yourself, like acting like you're hurt, Like, you might as well act it up. But, like, these days a rest hold in, like, a headlock is like you sit there and you kind of have a pained look on your face, but you're not really, like, selling. You're just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, you just kind of, when Randy Orton puts you in a rear chin lock for the fourth time, you just kind of pout a little bit.
Yeah, you just
show everyone your fake baby blue eyes that Vince made you wear contacts for.
Oh God! Remember when he doesn't do that anymore, does he?
He does not do that anymore.
Thank God, that was so awful. We're talking, of course, about John Cena. Kobashi turns around with like a cool look. It looks like a figure four, but I don't think it is. I think he's just like grapevining the leg with his legs, but it's not really a figure four because you have to like get the other leg through usually. He gets whipped in the corner and Kobashi turns around for the slash, but he eats a knee to the face. I was like, that's awesome. That's like the type of spot you would see today. Like,
oh yeah. Freaking Kabuki just knees Kobashi like right in the shoulder face area, and he drops like a sack of flour.
Yeah, and then Kabuki like Irish whips him, and it looks like Kobashi's gonna go for the abdominal stretch, but it goes into the rolling cradle. Bring back the rolling cradle. It's fucking amazing.
Not only that, like the fucking announcer was like, "Rolling cradle, rolling cradle,"
and the whole crowd goes, "Ah!" Yeah, the crowd starts freaking out. They're like, "Oh my God, he's rolling around the ring." I think today it might be a bit antiquated, but like you could. Here's the thing about wrestling. Stuff can be stupid and you can get it over. It does not matter. Like, fucking The Rock did the people's elbow for years. Like, it's just a fucking elbow. Like, if he could do that, then you could do a rolling. Like, I want to see, like, Bryan Danielson pull this out. Just start doing fucking rolling cradle on fucking Bobby Fish. I'll freak out. It'll be great.
So there is an AEW wrestler who does do the rolling cradle.
Oh, now I have to guess. Like Chucky T?
Nope.
Colt Cabana.
Close. In that orbit. In the orbit of Chucky T.
Yuta?
Nope.
Chris Stat? Chris Stat doesn't do it.
Chris Stat does
no
it,
way! Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Chris Stat on TV. She isn't on TV enough.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, he keeps Kobashi after this point keeps going for the Texas Cloverleaf. Oh man, I love a
Yeah,
Texas
and it's
Cloverleaf.
wild by this point because it's actually called the Texas Cloverleaf.
Yeah.
Because beforehand it had like, in the 80s, whenever I
Mhm.
would see it done, it would have just a weird technical name that
Well,
was not
Dean Malenko hadn't invented it yet, so
good.
I love Dean Malenko, but yeah, like I was like, oh my god, a Texas Cloverleaf, and they're calling it. Who was doing it at this point? Was like I don't know, uh, Jack Mulligan. I don't know who the fuck was around at this fucking time.
Brian Adams would do it.
Okay.
Dean Malenko would do it.
Well, he wasn't around by this point, I don't think. Although I love Dean Malenko to death. And maybe he was.
No. Dean Malenko was wrestling at this
Oh,
point.
hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because this was 1990. I think in 91 was whenever he went to ECW for the first time. Or it might have been.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, wait, 91 ECW wasn't... Okay, so that was like NWA ECW. Yeah.
Eastern Championship Wrestling.
Right, that was before the whole Shane Douglas nonsense. So, oh man. Kobashi hits like a last minute follow-away slam into a bridge, and I think the announcers call it a blockbuster, and I was like, what? Isn't a blockbuster where you like jump over their head and pull their head, like you flip over them?
Yeah, it's a flipping neck breaker, or what Big Daddy Buff used to do.
Yeah, I've never seen it was like a delayed bridge fall away slam. I've never seen it. And he held on to him. It's just like, what the fuck is that?
Hangman will do that move every now and again.
You gotta be fucking strong especially against like Kabuki. I was like, that looks like crazy.
Yeah, because the thing is, Kabuki is in the twilight of his career, as we've seen a lot of people. Like, he can still go. Like, it isn't, like, bad that he's in there, but, the torch is being passed. Yeah. And, he is, like... One thing about male Japanese wrestlers is once they reach a certain age... they just kind of like turn as square as possible for a human body to do.
I think it's because of the workout regimen. Like they like real wrestlers do like Hindu squats and Hindu push-ups and just fucking turn into like back machines where they just bump forever and ever and ever and their backs are just like ridiculous and they just square up basically. It's like Taz or something. Well, not really because Taz just ate a lot, but they turn into that square shape. But yeah.
It looks like you could take the Great Kabuki and like put him through one of those kid machine, those kid toys with the square hole.
Oh,
just
right through the square hole.
The Great Kabuki goes in the square
hole. I forgot about that video. So Kobashi hits a missile drop kick. Ow. And to stop doing these.
The last 2 minutes of this match are a fucking whirlwind.
Yeah. So at this point, after the missile dropkick, I was like, man, like Kobashi has been working him over for like the past like 5. There's been no offense from Kabuki at all. And then I have Kabuki Wins with a crazy, I don't know what you call it. It is a normal move, but I don't know what it's called. It's not a sunset flip. It's like where you grab somebody around their belly from behind and then they hit the ropes and you do the roll over backwards and you hold their legs down. I don't know what that's called. It's probably just a fucking pin. I don't know.
I've heard it called a rolling German pin.
That makes sense. Okay, but he also bridges. And then he lifts his shoulder after, too. I'm like, oh, man, what a fucking professional here. Like, I know he's older, but I'm like, damn, that's really, like... There's guys in America who fuck that up so many times. Like, you will watch American matches, and they're supposed to get their shoulder up when they bridge, and they don't, because it's like, I'm doing, like, 3 things here. That's the last thing I'm thinking of, is the fucking pin.
But yeah, whenever Kabuki goes down, he bridges, and like this is a move that Zack Sabre Jr. has stolen a pretty good bit. And he'll win with this move because it looks fantastic.
It does look great.
Especially whenever Zack Sabre Jr. like crosses his arms and bridges behind with his neck.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
It looks amazing, and Kabuki looks amazing. Like, he, at this point, I think, is doing a very smart thing in his career and is wrestling like a veteran.
Yeah.
In the fact of the psychology of the match is he essentially let Kenta Kobashi, the younger, stronger talent, punch himself out. And then so many K names, Kenta Kobashi Kabuki.
Yeah.
And then Kabuki beats him with technique. And I think that was very cool.
Yeah, and we have Kawada coming up, and it's just all Ks. So I liked it a lot. I gave it 3 out of 5 because I felt like towards the last 5 minutes, it was really like kicking into a next gear. And then it's not like the ending came out of nowhere, but I wanted like another 5 to 10. It felt like, I want to see where this goes. And then the match ended, which is fine. Like, it's like, that's how TV matches go a lot of the times. But like, I thought it could have been like, a 4 or 4.5 if they kept going, just because. And I think, honestly, I mean, Kabuki was good. Like, I like Kabuki, but like, I think it was just Kobashi being fucking nuts. Like, the dude just did. I don't feel like he did 800 different things in the sense of like Spot Fest. And honestly, I haven't watched enough Kobashi, so I don't know what his typical moveset is. But I was watching him just like, he does different things like throughout the entire, like people complain about John Cena's 5 moves of doom or whatever, which is silly because there's other wrestlers like fucking 2 moves. Like Kevin Nash famously has the fucking,
come on,
he has
elbow power bomb.
He has the knee, he has the hair whip, and then he has the fucking power bomb. That's like all he has. So watching this guy, like, the dude just does, like, he does planches, he does Texas cloverleafs, he does weird things I don't even know what they're called, and but it's not like he just does random spots. It's like he has this like ring vocabulary where he can just it's actually, you know what, it reminded me a lot of Malenko, and I love Malenko to death. Malenko's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. I think he's super underrated. So I felt like if it went another 5 to 10, I would have just seen like a fucking showcase. And what I got was good, but like, I was hoping for more. But yeah, what about you?
So the thing is with this, because we're doing this like transition period, if you remember from the summit, Kobashi was definitely playing the role of like young up and comer.
Right.
And I think that this was one of the first couple of times, maybe, I'm probably wrong, but it feels like this is one of those times where, the young talent is stepping up to the veteran talent and getting to showcase.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think that, they are definitely like building towards something, maybe not with a Kobashi and Kabuki like rematch, but Kobashi is absolutely being like groomed for success because they recognize his talent. Because I mean, one, he's that big, he is huge, and two, he is that flexible, he has that power, and his selling is impeccable. Like, that's anything and everything a veteran of this time would love to work with. And like, from things that I've heard about Kabuki was very much, if he didn't want to do something, he was not going to do it. And so for him to give Kobashi such a showcase, there's great things. Like, I didn't have a problem with this match at all. I thought it was wild and crazy seeing them just showcase what they can do.
Yeah.
And Kabuki like showing through psychology in the match that he is like still someone to contend with. I gave this four lariatos.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't have a problem with it other than I just wanted it to be longer, which is, I think, a good problem to have. If you make the marks want to see more of the match, I think that's good.
For me, this didn't anger me like it did with Bret Hart versus Tiger Mask 2. You know, Misawa.
Yeah.
Because that one, I was just mad.
Yeah.
Because they like barely kicked it up to the next gear and then it was over.
Well, that also sucks more because it's longer, and when you kick it up to the last gear in the last like 5 minutes of a 20-minute match, a 30-minute match, it's like, ugh, Christ, like, you know, just get to it faster.
Y'all really were just padding it the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, Brett's known for building match. I'm fine with it, but in the sense that it was a draw, that really sucks the life out of the whole thing. This was, I still liked it a lot. I will say, like, in terms of Kobashi being big, I mean, he probably is pretty tall, but we're not talking like, I think like in wrestling, there's lots of different types of big. I think of Kobashi as like Dan Severn, who I'll also mention later. Like, it's that kind of like big, intimidating rap, but it's not like he's like ripped. I mean, he's in good shape, but it's not like he's like Brian Cage or something, you know, or like fucking The Undertaker. He's just like built in an old-fashioned way. He looks like he could fuck you up. Like, if you saw him on the street, you'd be like, that's a scary motherfucker. But he's not, like, flexing and shit. He just could beat your ass. Like, he could throw you somewhere. Like, yeah, he's intimidating.
Yeah, he looks like if you were to cut him in half, you could count the growth rings.
Right. Well, but you would never want it. You wouldn't get the chance because he'd kill you.
No, yeah, he would catch the axe with his, like, pinky and fucking with his thumb and forefinger and just be like, oh, put me in a Texas cloverleaf that somehow cuts my body in half.
Ow. Yes, so the second match on the card is Toshiyaki Kawada and Samson Fuyuki versus the Fantasticks, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers. Now,
oh my God.
To start off with, we've been working so hard. We've been punching our cards. Are you ready to get Footloose with Kawada and Fuyuki? It's fucking... This would be a great theme song for Hangman Adam Page, I feel. Although nobody else would agree with me on this.
God. They came out to it and I was like, wait, what is this? And then I listened and just, god damn, I was like, Footloose? Is Kawada about to teach the entire audience the lesson of dance?
Yeah, everybody's been so held down by the formal Japanese culture. So, yes, Footloose hits, they come out.
They come out in green matching leopard print. Come on,
with zebra. No, it's not leopard. Well, maybe the green is, but it's inset with the zebra inlay. It looks like fucking. God, it looks like the awful Owen Hart and Anvil 1990s gear where they had like the fucking checkers and with the fucking day glove. Oh, it looks so bad. So.
No, this looked amazing.
Okay, I mean, it's in the sense that Footloose is such a it's an amazing song. But like,
well, speaking of Footloose, here's a question for you, Bert.
Yes.
So we didn't get to see the Fantasticks ring entrance,
No.
But since this is Japan, and apparently you can just play whatever copyrighted music you want. What song do you think the Fantasticks came out to?
See, I wonder if they just came out to Danger Zone. We just got double Kenny Loggins. Didn't somebody... Wait a minute. On Summit, somebody came out to Danger Zone, didn't they?
Yeah. It was one of the tag teams.
See, that's why I feel it's probably just the... Well, that was at the Egg Dome, though. It's still all Japan. They probably... Now, if they came out to the Look, that would be much better. That needs to be a thing. Fucking get rock set on these wrestling themes. What do you think? Or do you know? Were you there?
I don't. Yes, I was there. I was a young wee child
Young
of
boy.
9.
Yeah.
I was a young boy of 9, grabbing the towel of the great Kabuki and washing his
Goddamn.
ring gear. And I don't know. I just think it's funny to imagine all the different songs that they would have come out to. And I like to think that they would have came out to, like, I don't know, Roxanne or something. That would have been fucking funny.
That would be fun. Man, 80s music
Just
is really good for wrestling themes.
Roxanne! Boom, boom, boom. The crowd clapping along with it, you know?
I don't know how over it's kind of weird with Gaijin seeing how like the crowd it's interesting. So yeah, the match just cuts into a huge rocket launcher. That's just what happens at the beginning of the fucking match. The Fantasticks just do a rocket launcher onto fucking Kawada. No, it was on Fuyuki.
Samson.
Yeah, so oh god. They do the rocket launcher. I think he goes for the pin. Well, no, I don't think he did. He put Samson in a rest hold. And Kawada comes in and just fucking pelts this dude in the head with his fucking foot, and I'm like, oh my god, ow! Like,
yeah,
it looked so stiff, and then that breaks it up, and then fucking just to get back, like, I don't remember if it was Bobby or Tommy. They come in and just fucking pelt the other guy in the head with a kick. I'm like, oh, please stop kicking each other in the back of the head, please.
Yup.
He goes for a drop kick. Bobby catches this drop kick for the double crab. It was a really fun spot. Like, catching a drop kick doesn't seem exceptionally easy to me.
Yeah, a lot of coordination. And also, did you notice that the Fantastics did like a proto version of Poetry in Motion?
Yes, it looked really good too, because like
it did.
Tommy Rogers got like set up for the I don't know what you call it, the Ottoman. He turns into the Ottoman of the
three-handled flying credenza.
Yeah, the credenza. But like he just like snaps into place. Like, Jesus, dude. Like, God. I guess people were doing it back then, but it wasn't quite like this. There's an incredible sequence where Kawada does a plancha to the outside, like a springboard plancha, and the camera cuts outside of the spot, and it's looking at them, and it's like, oh shit, Kawada just gave this guy a plancha, and then you just see fucking like Tommy Rogers just come in from the top of the frame and fucking plancha on top of him. You just crash on top of him. You barely see the spot. It's like, oh my god, just ow. Like, I don't even know if actually he planched or if he. I think he did, because it cut back in and barely got him.
Well, Kawada. So like Kawada starts it off, and like this is after Kawada gets the hot tag, which.
Yes.
The hot tag in American wrestling is like a very defined thing at this point. And in Japanese wrestling and the things that we've saw, the tags just kind of happen.
They just happen.
A lot of the, and it doesn't stop the action, but there's not that like build point.
There's no drama to it a lot of the time. Sometimes the whoever is getting the heat just puts the downed opponent into their corner and they just tag, and you're like, wow, that's weird. It's not even because you're so used to seeing like the person getting beat up struggle to make the hot tag, and they don't. Sometimes they just get thrown over there and they just make it, and then the other person gets in and is like, okay, it's my turn. It's very like matter of fact sometimes.
And the interesting thing about this is I can tell the Fantastics were like kind of putting their stamp on this because they beat Samson up for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Kawada actually gets a hot tag in like the drama of the moment.
Yep.
Kawada comes in and just starts laying these kicks.
Yeah, that's what I have here. I have Kawada's kicks are fucking yikes. It's just
and he literally kicks them outside the ring, and that's where Kawada does a sick plancha, gets back in the ring, does a tope to the other Fantastic.
Yeah.
They start brawling on the outside, and then Samson just suplexes one of them out there in a full fucking suplex. You just see his feet from the camera angle go above the ring apron, and it's just like, whee!
Yeah, then there's an amazing spot where Kawada gets grabbed in like if he was on his back, he's not on his back, but like I want to say it's Bobby. Bobby grabs him like around the waist from the top while he's like facing the other way, and he bridges up, and then Bobby like pulls him. Oh, okay, restart your camera. There we go. Bobby like pulls him up towards the air, and his legs kind of come off the ground, and they just slowly elevate, and then he's in like a tombstone position, and then he flips over, and he does like I guess it's a running tombstone. I was like, God, people were doing tombstones back then? Fuck my life. I mean, I know Undertaker did it, but like, that was like his big thing. Actually, this is 1990. Taker wasn't even Taker.
The Undertaker tombstone, he had not perfected it or looked at a tape at all, because it's like he just had it described to him, because he dropped people on their heads more often than fucking not at this time.
I guess Taker was around at this point.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah,
it was like
1990s. He will debut, I think, at SummerSlam, so he is like 6 months off from this time.
Yeah. Okay. No, Survivor Series, because that was the show. I remember this.
Okay, then 9 months off.
Yeah. So, right, he's probably Mean Mark Callis right now on WCW with fucking Jim Herd. Like, this guy won't smile. I don't know what to do. There's a small subtle thing here I really love where Fuyuki goes to the apron to go to the top to do some move onto Tommy, who's on the ground, and Bobby Fulton just shuts him down immediately. He's on the apron with Bobby, so Bobby just runs over and starts clubbing the shit out of him. I'm like, thank you. Like, there's no way he would just stand there and watch him go to the top rope and jump on his partner. He's like, fuck that. I'm gonna come over and club the shit out of you. I have here, getting hit with a Japanese chair looks like it fucking sucks.
Yep, because it's just a metal frame, and Samson goes crazy with that damn chair.
Yeah, still to this day, I just think in Japan there's no pageantry to furniture. Like in wrestling, a table in wrestling.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. No pageantry to furniture.
There isn't.
I'm just imagining like one of those old shows where it's like, oh, and check it out. We've got the credenza. Look at her walk.
The Home Shopping Network. Yeah. Well, okay, but like, okay. Even in America, we've gone so far as to have spray-painted wooden ladders so that they look metal. You know, like that classic fucking TLC match or whatever, where they break the ladder and the fucking sawdust starts pouring out. Like,
yep.
This, excuse me, this is like, still to this day, if there's a table or a chair in a fucking Japanese match, that shit's just a real fucking table, and that shit's just a real fucking chair. Somebody was sitting in it in a second. I mean, not that like American chairs are fake, but they're. If you watch like AEW, right? Nobody's sitting in those fucking chairs, like in the fucking folding chairs. Like nobody. We're not in ECW anymore. Like, you know, people are sitting in nice, comfy chairs that you can't pull out. In ringside, they have like padded chairs that have like shit on them. Like nobody's sitting in the straight metal chairs, and definitely nobody's sitting ringside with the fucking table with nothing under it, and it's just the fucking thing you get in like a VFW hall. You know, in Japan is like, oh yeah, somebody uses this to like as like a, I don't know, not a dining table, but it's like a table that you put shit on.
Yeah,
by
someone's
your mantle,
putting the sound. Someone's putting the sound equipment on it later.
Yeah, and it's not like something that just breaks. It's like, oh, Jesus. So, yeah, he starts smacking with these fucking chairs. No headshots, thank God.
Yeah, no headshots, but the back of the chair, like Samson hits the first couple of times, and like the backrest of the chair just goes flying off into the crowd.
Oof. Yeah, it's like when Brock threw that car door into the crowd. Was it a car door? I don't remember. He threw something straight into the crowd and almost killed somebody.
Yep.
Another great subtle thing here, going back to the tags, where it's Bobby again. They drag him over to the their corner to make a tag, to like beat up on him in the corner, and he rolls away. He's like, I don't want to be here while these two fuckers are in the corner with me, which is really great because again, it's like he understands the mentality of I'm in a tag match and I'm not just going to have a match. Like it's very like keeping up the kayfabe of it. At this point, and I had this question in the Kobashi match, and you know more about wrestling, like the mechanics of wrestling than I do. Are they seriously hitting each other in the face so hard that the slap noise is that loud? Because like they're not chopping, and they're not like kicking where you can slap your leg. They are punching, striking to the face, and it's like smack, smack, smack. And I'm like, there's no way you'd hit somebody in the head that would be like, you just have potatoes, like you'd be bruised to fuck. And I'm like, so
there's 3 ways that they're doing it. All right. Okay. So take your fist, put it in front of your face like you're Booker
like I'm
T.
John Cena or Booker T, right? Okay.
Make a fist, and keep it loose, and turn your head to the side, like crank your neck, like put your ear to one of your shoulders. So on the side of your neck, right underneath your jawline, whenever you go to punch.
Oh, okay.
You can really see this with Stone Cold punches. He actually lays them in pretty good, but this is an area, the side of your neck, that there is surface area for whenever you have a loosely closed fist, and you can manage to like hit,
smack it.
Not like, you're just trying to, snap. You can hit right there, and if you know what you're doing and the other person like understands, you can make a great noise with it. And also you have to remember, wrestlers generally, especially in this time, are big meaty men slapping
That's true. It's so like precise though. Like that's the thing is like I honestly never understood that. I was like, I can understand slapping your leg for a kick. Like I've seen Tajiri do it enough times to be like, all right, they're slapping their leg. That's fine.
Yeah.
Now some people are better at it because Tajiri, it's pretty obvious. He just fucking takes his hand, fucking smacks his leg really obviously. These days, like Cole will do it or the Young Bucks will do it. And it's not the most obvious thing in the world unless you're looking for it. So it's funny because they started fucking striking each other in the face, and I'm hearing like pop. Pop, and I'm like looking at their hands. I'm like, they're not. Where are they slapping? Like, where's the sound coming from? Either
one, they're hitting on the side of their neck, or 2, and you'll see Bobby Eaton was very good at this.
Oh, okay.
He would punch, and whenever he would punch, he would
smack his chest, maybe.
Try and get as close as he could to them, and sometimes he'd like extend his fingers from the fist to make some contact. But whenever he'd do it, he'd like with his other hand, with his free hand, hit his like pec.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. That one makes sense to me, but like, man, yeah, I was just like, God, there's no way they hit each other that hard. There's no way. It can't be.
And then there's the third way, and the third way is the Terry Funk. The Terry Funk way.
That's okay. But yeah, like it reminded me of being a kid, where I was like, wait, it has to be real. Like like I'm 5 years old again. And
that's the thing. That's one thing that Bret Hart always, got on to people about, and rightfully so, is like, you have to make stuff look real, but let the other person go home to their wife and kids.
Yes.
Like, unbruised and unhurt. And if you look at a Bret Hart match, like, he laid it in, but he never, like, just really potatoed someone, except maybe Stone Cold. But that's because Stone Cold worked stiff, and I don't think there was any heat there.
He probably asked him to lay it in. Yeah. But like, well, Brett's a good example because every time Brett does that like backbreaker, every time I see that fucking thing, I'm like, that looks like it killed the dude. That looks like that dude is dead. And but it has to be the safest fucking thing because he does it to everybody, and they just work the rest of the match. Like, you know.
Well, you want to know the secret of the backbreaker?
Sure.
It really fucking hurts.
Well, I'm sure it hurts.
So it is up to the person being backbroken to break their own fall with it. And the way they do it, and you'll see people do this, is you have to slam your feet sole down as flat as you can in line with their knee, where you're at, the right angle where you're getting back broke.
Yeah.
You try and hit your feet first. That way it breaks most of the momentum, and then you're just kind of laid across their knee.
Yeah, you bounce across their knee, but it's not like really a big thing. But yeah, okay. Back to the match.
Yeah.
There's an amazing attitude adjustment power slam.
That one was very good. I liked it.
It looked crazy. I don't know what it actually would be called, but that's just what I called it because he kind of fireman's carried threw him over and like twisted. I was like, that's fucking cool. I haven't seen anybody really do that. And then he just busts out a gorgeous Northern Lights, and then we get the Tiger Driver. Tiger Driver 90. Because it's 1990. Yeah, the announcers and everybody just pop huge for the Tiger Driver. I'm like, awesome. And then Fuyuki just does a bridging German and gets the win off a bridging German.
What a good fucking match.
It was a really good match. You know what? I'm actually gonna bump it. Just talking about it. I'm gonna bump it to a 4 out of 5. 3.75. The reason it's a 3.75. No. I loved it, but the only real detriment I have to this is the psychology, like the tagging, because I'm just used to hot tags and big dramatic psychological things, and this was not really. There was, I feel like most of the psychology came from the Fantasticks, which is cool. Like they were great, but Kawada and Fuyuki weren't really working that kind of thing. It was more like it was like a singles match with two guys, which is still good, but like I like the psychology of tag wrestling. But it was still really great.
When tag wrestling is done really well, it is some of the best wrestling, period.
I agree. Yeah. What'd you think?
I remember the Fantasticks from being a kid, and I kind of always remembered them, if I'm correct. I think they had a stint in WWE, but like
I think
they
very
were
shortly,
Yeah, it was a very short stint, and they kind of just jobbed.
Yes.
And it wasn't like great, so I didn't remember much of them. But seeing this and understanding like what's going on, the Fantasticks are an amazing tag team.
Yeah. Yes.
They're extremely wild, and also I have to say that the Fantasticks coming in, they are doing something different than the evil Gaijin comes in to beat up, local Japanese men. Because at the end of the match, like the Fantasticks, shake, hands, and you hear one of them talking, and it's like, next time we're going to get those titles,
it's
but
Bobby.
y'all are great. Y'all are great. Which, like, that is actually very refreshing to see. And so to know that the Fantastics are, one, trying to bring in a slight American influence. The match was insane. Like, they were just going and going and going. Because I was really afraid with going to the men's side of, Japanese wrestling at this time. I was like afraid that it was going to be a whole bunch of rest holds. And like,
Yes.
while it's more prevalent than, say, in the Joshi show we watched, it was building towards something, which I can always appreciate.
Yeah,
and so,
yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
That's interesting because I did notice like the women do less rest holds. Do they just have like better cardio? Maybe I don't know, but they don't do. I mean,
so
the tag match had more sleepers and stuff, but like those were moves. I don't know how to put it. And the other matches didn't really have much working over on the ground type stuff. They just did stuff for most of the match.
So the Joshi mentality at this time, from what I understand, was, Japan is an extremely patriarchal place, always has been. And it was difficult for women to even, like, get the Joshi shows going. It was seen as, like, unseemly. It would be like, in America trying to get, like, a drag racing show. Like a weekly drag racing show done on, like, just the strip outside of your mall.
Right.
It was seen as unsightly, and so the Joshi women, from what I understand, like, wanted to differentiate their style of wrestling because they were seen as weak and they couldn't go as hard as the men. They, because this was at this point decades of, like, big beefy Japanese men doing their thing.
Right.
And so a lot of people did not take the Joshi wrestlers seriously. So whenever they set out to, like, create their own style and differentiate themselves, they decided to go 1,000 miles an hour. That was a way to be undeniable to the audience that they were good.
Right.
Because your average person, like your average wrestling fan looking at that, could not look at Joshi wrestling and go, oh shit, I can do that, because they're going 1,000 miles an hour for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, undeniable.
Yeah. So what did you give the match? What did you score the match?
This match was awesome. Once again, this is 4 Lariatos. Okay. I mean, straight up.
Yeah. Yeah.
The surprise of seeing the Fantasticks be as great a wrestling team as they are, because, like, I've heard, redacted Cornette talk about the Fantasticks in very positive light. And, like, I always took that with a grain of salt, because, like, generally the people that he really praises are people that are, like, of his ilk and mindset. And, the Fantasticks were an amazing tag team, and it was great to see Kawada for the first time, on this show for us. Like, I've seen a lot of Kawada matches. And, those kicks, baby.
Yeah, they're scary. I was thinking during the match that I would love to see Midnight Express versus the Fantasticks, because just Bobby Fulton, Bobby Eaton, that would be crazy. I did have a note here, like, it's kind of interesting. Because I was thinking during the match that, like, tag wrestling was light years ahead in Japan. Like, they are way ahead of the curve. At the same time, like, tag wrestling was actually pretty good in America during this period. Yeah. But, like, when I think back on it, I feel like tag wrestling went through a downturn in the mid to late 90s. Because and it's just interesting to me, because, like, around this time, I think I had brought up the like Owen and you had the Rockers, and you had, like, Owen and Anvil and
Heart Foundation.
They, like, those guys were doing a lot of ahead of the time stuff. But then once, like, the new generation hit, and really from then on, you're watching, like, fucking, honestly, I don't even know the tag teams in the new generation. Like, Men on a Mission.
Fuck.
Who had the fucking belts during the new gen? Like, I have no
I think
idea.
it was the Hart Foundation.
You had like the fucking oh god, like Dirty Dick Slater and what's the other dude's name? The fucking the cowboy dudes. You had like
Barry Windham?
Barry.
The
I
Wyndhams?
think so. Yeah, you had like Cornette bring back like the Midnight Express. It was like the new Midnight Express or
Oh
whatever.
God! And it was Bob Holly and
That's right.
who's the other guy?
But that was like what
God,
you. Yeah, that's what you had back.
that went over like a fucking fart in church.
Well, the new generation in general did. But even after that, when you get like to the glory days of like the Attitude Era, like I mean, and I grew up with the Attitude Era, but like it's like fucking Mosh and Thrasher and BOA and fucking Jesus, and then like
We see, yeah,
and then you get like you get like the glory days of like the Dudleys and the Hardys and Edge and Crit, but even then like I like that stuff, but it's really like it's people doing crazy spots off ladders and tables and shit. So like I mean I like it, but it's not like I don't think it really returned to this type of tag wrestling until really like the mid to late 2000s, 2010s. Like it took a while before it hit that level, I feel. Like of hot tags, double spots, psychology, the shit you saw in like 1990 and then it just kind of went away in America in like 1993 onwards for some reason. Like it just didn't happen like that anymore. Yeah, I just think that's
yeah. Well, yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I mean, Vince said that several times that he did not like tag team wrestling in the '90s. He was trying to build, because like in the '90s, he was trying to get the one superstar mentality over.
I will
Because
say,
he saw,
yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
because he saw how well that it had worked with Hogan, and you can see this in WWE's booking ever since.
Yeah,
Is that they want there to be one top guy who is like the draw, and I think it's just a way for Vince McMahon to limit the people that he's having to negotiate with. Because if you think about back in the day, during the Hogan era, like there were like big names that were vying for contracts and everything like that, and I think he wanted to limit his scope and power to have a laser focus.
I will say in a vacuum in 1993, that makes perfect sense because Jesus Christ, there was fucking nobody. Like everybody left because of all the scandals and it was fucking horrible. But at the same time, like because it's Vince, it does, that mentality gets all twisted. I mean, fucking Vince caused all that, so fuck him. But like if he wouldn't have fucking put Hogan over every single fucking person, he wouldn't have that problem. And if he wouldn't have had all the scandal issues in the first place, then it's Vince. Fuck him. So
Oh my god, real quick. I'm
yeah,
looking at some of the tag teams of the new generation that were like the
yes,
big
please,
ones.
please.
All right, we've
Indulge
got like I'll start off with the good ones.
Sure.
The Steiner brothers, which
Well, they were WCW. WCW. Well, the Steiners were. I correct myself. They were in WWF for a brief period, but like, yeah, WCW was doing perfectly fine.
but
yeah.
the Steiners held the WWF
Yes.
titles twice.
They did. I think they had them at WrestleMania 9 when they fought fucking Fatu and them. The Wild Samoans. That sounds right.
And then we've got Men on a Mission,
Yeah.
which is Viscera and
now he was not named Viscera at the time.
No, what was
Big Daddy
named?
V. I don't remember.
No, that was later on.
I don't remember his name at the time, but yes.
God,
Mo is the most important member. That was the important.
They dropped the belts to the Quebecers at a house show.
Now the Quebecers though, that was Jacques Rougeau.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Quebecers were honestly pretty fucking cool. I like them.
Yeah, no, they were legitimately cool.
Yeah.
There's the Heavenly Bodies, which like
Jesus.
at that time that was a throwback tag team.
Yeah. Who was that? I fucking.
Oh my god!
It's not the shows. Heavenly Bodies. So it must have been like.
Yeah, it was literally a Jim Cornette, Smoky Mountain.
God damn it!
Tag team.
There was so much of that in the new gen. It was like Jim Cornette's just like, I'm gonna make this work. God damn it!
Ugh. And then here's one that like I do not remember at all, and that's a tag team. They didn't even have a proper name, but it was Marty Jannetty and the 1-2-3 Kid.
Yep, that very briefly happened. But you can tell it's brief because it involves Marty. Like the minute that dude had anything, he immediately was out of the company.
Yeah, because the second he got in the spotlight, he was like, "Did I kill my girlfriend?"
I was gonna say he did kill somebody, so.
No. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, is that person dead? Yes. Did I do it? Who's to say?
Marty has the amazing knack of going on Facebook and being like, "Wow, it sure would be crazy if the cops investigated these latitude and longitude coordinates for a missing body." It's like, what the fuck?
Honestly, that was one of the most baffling things to try and reverse engineer, like, what the fuck was going on. Because, like, I see Marty Jannetty out of I'm like, okay, this has to be out of context, that Marty Jannetty is saying on social media that he killed somebody and buried a body.
Bad news, Anthony. You got worked. It's all an angle. He got you. He got you, brother.
He got me, brother. God damn.
It's like when they buried Ric Flair in the desert. Okay. Moving on, unless you have somebody else. Yeah, go ahead, because this is insane.
Yeah, real quick, the Godwins.
Oh, and fuck my life. God, okay.
Bob Holly and the 1-2-3 Kid. The Headbangers.
The Headbangers were awful. They were so bad.
Oh my god. This was their tag name? I cannot believe that. Okay, do you remember the apparent tag team name that Diesel and Shawn Michaels had?
No, I'm not gonna remember it. What is it?
Two Dudes with Attitudes.
I do remember. Okay, yes, that rings a bell. Who was
And there's fucking Kevin Nash with a singlet that says "Dudes with Attitudes."
Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. It wasn't called Road Dogg, but it was Jesse James. It was the New Age Outlaws. They were like the something else Outlaws or something. I don't remember what it was, but they had a really shitty tag team in the new gen. But they had different characters. Like it was like Rockabilly era Billy Gunn or whatever, and fucking. Yeah, it was bad. I don't remember what their fucking names were.
Honestly, I wanted to do that new gen digression for a little bit to kind of avoid talking about this next match.
Really? Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll talk about it. The British Bulldogs versus Tiger Mask Mitsuhara Misawa, not long for this world. He will... Tiger Mask isn't long for this world. And Masafuchi. Amazing Tiger Mask music. I guess it's just the Tiger Mask theme, but I love it. Dynamite Kid Tom Billington looking like Dan Severin's young boy. He looks like a fucking dad and a half. Holy, except for the fucking gig marks all over his head, but he looks like an uncle. Like, wow.
See, I have it wrote down that he looks like if Freddie Mercury worked with the Super Troopers.
Hell yes. Fucking Freddie Favre over here. He's okay. So here's what I knew. Let me ask you this. Maybe you were about to say this. What do you know? How familiar are you with the Dynamite Kid? This is where I was going. Okay. So first of all, my knowledge before this match was Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith were the British Bulldogs. Dynamite Kid notoriously worked like fucking crazy and worked really stiff. And notoriously, I thought he died in the sense like he died early because that's just the typical wrestling tragedy story. But I all I knew was he had a very, I know he was quote unquote difficult backstage and quote unquote fucked over or had a really horrible time after this period. Now, so I looked it up and I'm just going to read what I'm going to quote from Wikipedia because I didn't know any of this shit. In September 1990, which is 8 months from now, that we're watching, Smith abruptly withdrew the Bulldogs from AJPW's annual World's Strongest Tag Termination League by returning to the WWF and fabricating to the All Japan office that Billington, Dynamite Kid, had been in a serious car accident and couldn't compete. Since Smith had trademarked the term, quote, the British Bulldog during the Bulldog's previous run in the WWF, he decided to return to the WWF as the British Bulldog and sent people to the United Kingdom to warn the promoter every time a flyer was distributed promoting Billington as a British Bulldog. As a result of these actions, Billington passionately despised Smith for a long time. My words, rightfully so. Johnny Smith took Davey Boy Smith's spot in the World's Strongest Tag Determination League, and the duo known as the British Bruisers continued to compete in All Japan Pro Wrestling. They managed, well, spoilers, they managed to capture the All Asia Tag Team Championship, but the partnership was short-lived. The years of steroid abuse, working a high-impact style, and cocaine usage caught up with Billington. He announced his retirement in 1991. So, what a fucker Davey Boy Smith is. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? What an asshole. Carny piece of shit. Like,
no, Davey Boy, so Davey Boy is the cause for a lot of, you know how they've talked about, you know, the Hart families, like, you know, strife and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Davey Boy is the cause of most of it, and he married into the goddamn family. I mean, this isn't absolving all of them because they're all weird and fucked up in their own special ways.
100%.
But, like, Davey Smith would go on benders and not be seen for days.
I know about that.
Sometimes weeks at a time, and, like, literally make it everyone in the family's, like, problem to go and try and find him or... And, you know, that's one reason, like, Owen Hart was, like, so dead set on, like, just quitting eventually, is just because that way he couldn't be involved in all this because, you know, he'd be spending his few off days at home with his, you know, family, and then all of a sudden get a call from one of his sisters and be like, oh, can you go help find Davey Boy? We don't know where he's at, and all the crack is gone.
I had an uncle... in this exact, so my grandma's car went missing. We have to go look at the other side of town to find the car and who it was sold to. Yeah, I've been there. So, but the thing that really gets me about this story specifically, because it's one thing to like fuck somebody over like a carny and kind of ruin their career in the sake of your career. That shit happen. Hogan's done that like a million fucking times. The thing that really gets me is he returned to WF as the British Bulldog and sent people to the UK to warn the promoter every time a flyer promoted Billington. What are you sending out? Hit people? What the fuck are you doing? Like, that's insane to me. That's like next level, like manipulative, weird shit. Like, just who cares? And it's awful. Anyway, that's all. Getting us ready for the match with both of them in the same ring together. This didn't happen for 8 months, so we're not there yet.
We're not there yet, but I mean, so real quick with the reason I don't want to talk about this match too terrible much is just because the sad story of the Dynamite Kid. Have you, like, is this your first time, like, seeing the Dynamite Kid with, like, your adult brain?
I have seen clips of him, but I haven't really seen full matches. I think I've seen one British Bulldogs match in WWF, and that's it.
So at this point in time, like, the Dynamite Kid is in the twilight of his career. He's about to, stop wrestling.
You can
and
kind of tell.
That's because he gets put in a wheelchair because of his horrible injuries that finally catch up to him and his addictions and everything like that. And so, like, also one of the things that the Dynamite Kid was addicted to was steroids really bad. Because if you haven't seen him before, right now he looks like a regular person. He looks like a regular wrestler.
He looks like a
this
dude.
Is not, and that's not a dig. Like, I'm happy because he was carrying probably 50 to 60 pounds of extra muscle mass that made him look uncanny.
Yeah, like the Don Morocco type thing where they're just like really Davey, honestly. Well, Davey is really strong though, so I know he was probably on the gas, but like
Davey was absolutely on the gas.
Dynamite's shorter though, that's the thing. So it has that like Don Morocco thing where he's a smaller guy, but it's just fucking ridiculous. It's like, dude, what are you on? Like, holy shit.
And so with Davey, like, his bigger frame kind of hit a lot of it, but Dynamite, his body was not made to carry that much muscle, and that's one of the things that, eventually messed him up. And so seeing him here, he is in pain the entire time. Like, he is doing his shit, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. But every time you can see, like, the pain etched on his face.
Yeah, the impression I got was like, well, physically, the impression I got was like Hogan Mania 9, where like he comes back and dude has lost like all his fucking mass. He's just a dude that looks funny because he's Hulk Hogan, but like he doesn't. He's not the big fucking crazy dude. And the other impression is like late 90s WCW Mr. Perfect, where the dude cannot work because his fucking back is fucked. And he'll go out there and work and he'll do it, but you can tell it's like, that dude should not be in the ring. Like, he's hurt.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, Bulldog, I mean, I'll run through it real quick. Bulldog does most of the heavy lifting, and I mean, like, literal heavy. They literally...
Yeah, because it starts off right off the bat. He lifts fucking Masa.
Yeah, he gotches Fuji into a top rope dropkick by Dynamite. Jesus Christ. And that's like... It's one thing to do a missile dropkick to somebody on the ground, like on the mat. The dude is like lifted up in the air by fucking Davey, and he hits him up there and then falls down onto the mat from the top. That's like, dude, like, holy shit, you're crazy. That's to start the match. Well, I mean, they cut to it, but you know. Beautiful delayed vertical suplex by Davey. Basically, I was actually kind of worried going into it because I have never been Davey's biggest fan. I think his matches with, like, the Warlord were fun because they're both huge fucking hosses who do big power moves. His match with Brett is great because it's fucking Brett in the UK.
Yeah.
It's a big storied SummerSlam match that had the biggest pop ever. But, like, outside of that, I mean, the dude's not... First of all, he's in Japan. The dude's not a technical wizard, and he's definitely not, like, king of cardio. He's not going to go really fast. He's a big dude. But he basically does a bunch of big fucking crazy moves. I don't think they get over with the crowd as much as they did with me, but I was like, damn, he's fucking strong. Misawa gets tagged, starts kicking the shit out of Davey, but he just does like these jumping fucking kicks and these like side kicks, and I was like, okay. They take turns throwing their opponents out of the ring and into the railing, which was just kind of okay. Davey military presses Misawa and carries him over to the fucking apron and throws him out onto Fuji. Jesus, he is incredibly powerful. Like, I was like,
because he does it. It looks easy for him to do, And plus the crowd, you hear them, they like just an
They kind of
intake
go,
of breath.
yeah. I love that when crowds do that. When you can hear the crowd go,
yeah.
yeah, that's really great. Incredibly gorgeous missile dropkick from Misawa. He kind of goes, like, it's really deep. He does, like, that deep dropkick. I love that.
Yeah.
And Davey Boy does power slam into another rocket launcher to get the win, which is kind of funny. Like, this is the second rocket launcher of the show, but the other one was at the beginning of the match. This one's at the end.
Yeah, and this one was the diving headbutt rocket launcher, which, like, please don't.
Yeah, don't do that. The
but,
ending was very goofy to me because, and you probably noticed this too, but Tiger Mask comes in the ring to break it up, and Davey Boy, like, goes over to that corner and, like, raises his fist like he's gonna punch him, and Tiger Mask kind of just backs off. Like, he's just like, okay, don't hit me. And then the 3 count happens, and I'm like, hey, what the fuck? Just go around him. Like, he's not even, like, in his way. He's just off to the side, like, threatening him.
Yeah, Misawa just puts his hands on his hips and just starts shaking his head and walks away from Davey Boy.
Yeah.
And Davey Boy is confused.
I was confused. I was like, okay, is this actually the angle that Misawa, like, failed his buddy? Or is it, like, is it just he's upset about losing? Was it on Fuchi? It's hard to tell. Yeah.
So, here is a little bit of the background on this. So,
okay.
Misawa, we are not long for this world seeing, Tiger Misawa is
I know it's
Tiger
up in, like, March or something.
Yeah. It's coming up soon. So, the thing is, storyline-wise, Misawa is playing that he does not want to be Tiger Mask.
Okay, good.
Now, the thing is, that's kayfabe, but this is also real life.
Worked himself into a shoot. Yeah.
Or he shot himself into a work.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the legend surrounding this, because soon, Misawa is going to have a very dramatic moment, and I think we'll come across it, so we'll just let it happen. Or Tiger Mask will have a dramatic moment.
Yeah.
And so it is hard to tell where the kayfabe ends and the, shoot begins, because Misawa at this point, it was also reported that Giant Baba, because All Japan licensed the Tiger Mask character. They don't own it at this time.
Okay.
So they are paying royalties to have the Tiger Mask character, and Misawa has been doing it for 6 years at this point. And Misawa was like a big up-and-comer in like 82, 83, and 84.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got bestowed the Tiger Mask identity, which was, a cool thing at the time.
But then it wore on after a while. Yeah, it's like I've been doing this for years,
And so it's rumored that, Giant Baba pretty much said, no, you're wearing the mask forever, kid, to this near 40-year-old. I think he's 33 at this time.
It's like the Blue Blazer.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't stick going with it for that long, but once they restuck on him, it's like, dude, come on, he's Owen Hart, like, fucking come on.
And so apparently there was like real backstage heat between, Giant Baba and him, but it could be a work because they could have just been working everyone for the angle. So it's real hard to tell, but there is a lot going on in this match with, Davey Boy and Dynamite, and then this with Misawa that just leaves a sour taste in my mouth about this match.
Yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5. It had a lot of power spots, but it was a fun enough match on its own. It's just the psychology was kind of off. It's kind of like, it was okay. I think as far as if in a vacuum, as far as Davey performances go, it was great. But that's kind of like not the whole story of the thing. I've seen Davey have way worse matches. So it was kind of like,
90% of his fucking library is bad matches.
yeah, yeah. And so I thought he was like the weak link in this, but he ended up carrying a lot of the match, him and Misawa. So Fuchi didn't do much, and again, like when we talked about Kabuki, I feel like he's one of the older guys who's staying in and helping out. But it didn't seem that way just from the work rate. You could tell he wasn't working as hard as Misawa was. But it was all right.
Yeah. I only gave this 2 stars just because seeing Dynamite's, pained expression every time he did something.
Yeah.
And then Misawa at this point, it's very off-putting and really turned me off. So only two lariatos.
Gotcha. Well, it's time for the main event, which is, of course,
it's time for the main event.
The legendary matchup of John Cena versus Randy Orton. Our last match is Genichiro Tenryu versus Ivan Koloff. Now, I got excited because I'm stupid, and I thought it was Nikita Koloff, and I love Nikita Koloff. I always have. I always will. I thought he was fucking awesome in the best way possible. But it's not Nikita Koloff. It's Ivan Koloff.
It is Ivan Koloff, a much different brand. It's like whenever your mom goes to get you Captain Crunch and comes back with like pirate shoes.
Well, but like it's not the knockoff Captain Crunch. It's what Captain Crunch used to be in like the 50s before they refined. You know what I mean? Like it's the old ass Captain. It's stale. It's like fuck this shit. I want Nikita Koloff, not Ivan Koloff. This is horrible.
Back whenever on the box it proudly displays 30% less sawdust.
Yes. So, I have before this. I knew about Ivan Koloff, but I'd never seen dude wrestle like ever.
Yeah.
So before any of this really takes place, Tenryu's blindsided coming out. Do you know who blindsided him?
No.
Okay.
I was trying to figure it out.
I did the research, and I will have you know I figured it out because luckily, I'm not versed in Japanese, but I was able to figure out from the commentary because this guy comes up. They're all in these Revolution jackets, which is the name of Tenryu's faction. And Tenryu's a former sumo wrestler, turned real wrestler, And he so this guy in one of these red jackets blindsides him, and the announcers go like, "Oh," and then the announcer goes, Tagaki desu ne. And I'm like, oh, isn't it Tagaki? That's what he's saying. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Shingo Takagi? It's Takagi, not Tagaki. Shingo Takagi? I'm like, no, he's like not even born yet. This Shingo Takagi's a current NJPW wrestler. It's not him. He's like the G1 and shit. So because I had the problem that I Googled, I was like, okay, it's gotta be Takagi. So I Googled Takagi wrestler, and you can guess what happens. It says, you must mean Shingo Takagi. I'm like, no, I don't. Nope. This 3-year-old's not beating up Tenry. No, it is.
When Shingo was 3, he went to a 60-minute Iron Man draw with him. Woo! He went all the way, brother. You couldn't imagine.
80,000 screaming fans, brother. It was Isao Takagi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Isao Takagi, a former sumo wrestler who would end up in Super World of Sports with Tenryu. They had a kind of rivalry, and Tenryu also, spoilers, not long for the company, although he is great, and this was like his best period. He ends up and leaving the company, just like it kind of shocked people how quickly he was just out. And so this is starting off the kind of interfaction rivalry with the sumo guys, and Yes, I managed to look it up. It was kind of difficult.
No, that's awesome. Like, well, let me ask you this: how familiar are you with Genichiro Tenryu?
I saw him on the the Summit
Wrestling
show.
Summit.
Who did he fight? Who did he fight again? I can't remember.
Did he?
Fucking,
was it Macho?
I think you're right.
No.
Yeah, I think it was
No.
Macho. It was Macho. Yeah, because he beat him with the Tenryu bomb, and I was like,
Okay.
I was like, that sold me. I was like, Tenryu fucking rules. I love this dude.
Yeah. So I mentioned it last time then, but Tenryu is like essentially the Ric Flair in the fact of like he's wrestling Ric Flair a lot of the time. Like I've seen a couple of their matches together where Rick was in Japan, and amazing. Good stuff.
Hold on, was he the dude that came over for the WCW Japanese tournament to fight Flair? That wasn't Tenryu, was it? I'm gonna look this up. WCW. Cut this out. Don't cut it out though, because it's very entertaining. Japanese tournament. That was in.
Would have been Muda.
It was the WCW.
Maybe.
No, I remember watching this though. No, it's Fujinami. Tatsumi Fujinami in '91. Okay. But that was that was New Japan. That's why. Never mind. I'm wrong. But people were probably back and forth, so I assumed it might have been Tenryu. But I remembered it not looking like Tenryu. Now, you are correct that this is all. Go ahead.
Or no, go ahead.
You are correct that this is all fascinating and much more fascinating than the match.
What I found fascinating about the match was at the very beginning is one, Tenryu's music sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon version of Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls.
果たしてどこまでやれるでしょうか。さあ今度は天竜の90年代が始まります。天竜革命によりまして時代の壁を次々と突き破ってまいりました天竜源一郎。果たして90年代今年はどうでしょうか。平成2年の天竜はさらに上積みを。
Yeah, add more synth. Add more synth, and you got it.
Okay. It's like it's like the X-Men theme. The X-Men theme has the it's kind of similar. Yeah. Which is a badass theme, by the way. I fucking love that theme.
Oh, it's dun 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 dun. No, it's great.
Go on.
But did you notice, like, right before Tenryu came out, there was one dude who looked so fucking happy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting there waving a fucking USSR flag.
Hell yes.
Just like so fucking happy. And Tenryu's music hits and he's like, boo. Just like a little, just a little thumbs down, but still looks so
it's
happy.
Like
just boo.
It's like the Orange Cassidy thumbs down. No.
And it's just so funny because, like, imagining the political climate of like trying to sell communism as a whole as a bad thing in Japan is kind of a weird sell just because of their relationship with fascism and stuff, but also just the fact that like there's this one Japanese man who's like, yay, the USSR, who like shellacked they got shellacked by the Japanese military in the Russo Wars.
Now, for the viewers at home, shellacking means no. Go on. Yes.
Shellacking is what
doing a colonialism is what we.
My manservant. My manservant Habibi, he owns.
Oh no.
His family used to own the shellacking company, but I took it over. And with my Western expertise.
Now, some of you listening or watching might want us to talk about the match. And instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a game. And that game is, how old is Ivan Koloff?
Oh, at this point in time, he is probably
Well, now-
56 years old.
Well, today he's probably like 90 or dead. He's probably dead. Well,
I
that's
believe
another
he
game.
is
Is he dead? But I don't like that game. Okay, I guessed, and I was very generous. I said 49. I was very generous. How you said 56? So
yeah, he's
All right.
very grizzled.
I have the results.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in 1942, which means in 1990 he was 48.
Yeah.
So I was
Okay.
pretty close. And
Okay.
for the second not as fun game, he died in 2017. But hey, they made it pretty long, I think. 42 to 17 isn't too bad. Died at his home.
Yeah.
From, well, never mind.
Yeah.
Let's stop the game there.
Nope.
Just liver cancer. That's sad. But he had a long life. So now.
So yeah, real quick,
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm going to avoid talking about the actual match again.
Yes. There's two things
So-
in the match to discuss. We'll get to those at the end. Go ahead.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was very funny is, like, a lot of these Japanese matches, like, have a similar start off, which is like someone, either the opponent or someone else, blindsides the baby face.
Yes.
And
Sometimes
just-
the babyface blindsides the heel. I
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
It's just
Like-
what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is like such a thing and a trope, and it's definitely like I'm still enjoying it, but I can see where it definitely like loses a lot of its impact. Where it's like, oh, okay, yeah,
I think it's funny that
Like-
it's the inverse of the American wrestling match where everybody starts with the lockup, you know? Everyone just goes like this.
yeah, and then at the end it ends in the schmoz.
Yes.
The
exactly.
schmoz happens before the match.
Yeah. Then at the end they
And
end
yeah.
a lockup. Now,
And yeah, like Tenryu gets, you know, just lambasted by that dude and then like eats more chairs than the Public Enemy before the match even starts.
yes. Takagi. But the match, okay. Two things happen in the match. I mean, lots of things happen in the match, but nothing happens. And the match is short anyway, so it doesn't matter. The only interesting things that happen are Tenryu does the octopus stretch on Ivan Koloff to wake me up. Thank you, Tenryu, for
Yep.
doing an awesome octopus stretch that Ivan Koloff goes over to the ropes to break. And then Tenryu wins out of nowhere with the back elbow drop from the top. And
Yeah.
the funniest thing that happens is Koloff gets up. He starts beating him up outside the ring.
Yep.
And then they just stop.
Stop.
It just gets broken up. And Tenryu just walks
Walks
to the
off.
back. He's like,
Yep.
well, I won, so fuck this.
Tenryu's just like, fuck you, got mine. Fuck you, got mine.
And Koloff is like, damn, I guess I lost. At least I got to beat him up a little. And that's it. That's the whole fucking thing. So I give it a 1.5 out of 5. It was a match that occurred in our
Yeah.
reality, in our timeline. But
yeah, like it
fuck.
is an interesting match because, you know, I'm familiar with Ivan Koloff because I mean I can remember watching Ivan and Nikita Koloff tag team together in like NWA and stuff.
Mhm.
And like Tenryu is very good. Like I don't know if you noticed this, but like his chops in those matches just sound like firecrackers going off.
Yes.
Like-
you know how like they talk about people they could have a match with a broom, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Yeah.
like this was Tenryu trying to have a match with like one of those big fucking street sweeper machines.
Fuck off, a big fuck off push broom.
Yeah. Like it's like that's really fucking different. Like there's only so much you can do, okay? The dude's and the other thing was because of the way the match started with the angle, Koloff had to get 90% of the offense, which is like what's he gonna do? He's just gonna hit him in the back and kind of lean on him over and over. It's like, no, man.
Yeah. And even whenever Tenryu got offense on Ivan, like, I knew this from being a kid. I was like, Ivan will not bump for this man.
Yes.
Like, Ivan has lost a lot of his, like, bulk. Because he used to be, like, he's still huge, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But he used to be, like, probably 30, 40 pounds heavier and, like, built like a linebacker.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, Ivan is an old hand, and he is not going to bump no matter what. Like, he bumps once, I think, for a clothesline after Tenryu hits him like 7 times and pulls out a gun.
Yeah.
But even then, he no-sells the fucking shot. So
yeah, it really takes you out of it. It's like if like Slaughter had a match with fucking Stone Cold in like 98 and he came out and just started whipping his ass but not like whipping his ass, just getting heat on him for like 5 minutes, and then you know, he got hit by the stunner and lost. You'd be like, why did that match need to, like, shouldn't Stone Cold just fucking murder him and just win? Like, why the fuck is this even happening? And that was how this felt. It was like, I mean, no disrespect to to Ivan Koloff, definitely none to Nikita, but to Ivan is like,
do you remember Nikita Koloff's finisher?
The fucking sickle? Hell yes, I do. That I love.
God,
that's like the best clothesline in the world. I love that fucking move.
Whips so much
and
ass.
He had the chain. I fucking and his fucking amazing accent. It was this. It's like
it's shut like your mouth.
That wrestling accent is up there with Rusev's lawyer. You remember that? One of my favorite wrestling as Mr. Rusev's attorney, he will not be signing this contract. And then fucking Cole's like, oh, that guy's not a lawyer. Shut up, Cole. Shut the fuck up. He's great.
Shut the fuck up, Cole.
Oh my, he's not a lawyer. Shut up.
So yeah, I think that we came into a perfect time, honestly, because this is a lot of the old guard that we're kind of like seeing come in and go out, and like Ivan Koloff is one of the mainstays that, like, you know, even in Japan, who, you know, the shine has worn off on him. He's much older now. Like, you know, his matches in the 80s were like,
they're
really wild. Yeah. You know, and Tenryu is 40 at this time.
Also not long for the company, although I love him. He's
great. No, he's great. He's not long for the company though, and you can kind of like see that the way the card is stacked, you have, which is similar to the Joshi event, once you think about it, is you started off with a young talent, you know, Kobashi, you know, trying to take on some of the old guard. Old guard wins. And then you've got the tag match of, like, you know, the hot young tag team who's, you know, just tearing it up, facing the Fantasticks. And then you have some of the, like, you know, as you get up in the card, you get like the older talent and stuff until finally it's like peak elderly statesman of it. You know, and that's not to say that that's a bad thing. But at this time, like, a lot of the gas is running out of the tank of a lot of these older stars.
Yeah.
They either have their eyes set on something else, or they're just not long for the wrestling world.
Yeah, I find it interesting that Tenryu fought Savage at the last show, because I kind of think of both, from what I've read about Tenryu, I think of both of them kind of similarly, in that, like, Savage, like, because Savage, you wouldn't think he was in the twilight of his career around this time, but really he had like 2 more years. I mean, I know he's in WCW, but fuck off with that. Like, I mean, like, when you think Savage, you think WWF Randy Savage, and he only had a couple more years before he's just fucking out. Like, he's just gone, and he's not gone, but like, he's not wrestling. And I think, like, if you look at Savage's career in WWE, it's like, wow, I feel like he had many years left in the tank, and it just didn't work out. And then Tenryu, it's like he just up and leaves All Japan, and he's just like, eh. I mean, he does still work, but it's definitely like it's almost the same type of thing where it's like, wow, I thought this dude was like up to be like a legend, because he's not. I do not believe he's one of the pillars. It's Misawa, Kobashi. I always forget the fourth one.
Kawada and Tao.
Yeah. But not. Yeah, he's not there. So
I think it's pronounced Toei.
I think it is Toei. But yeah, like Tenryu's not in that discussion, and I think he might have been if he. I mean, I know he's 40, but that's a good 5 to 10 years. And it only took like 5 years, I assume. You know.
Yeah, he would have been in the position to like pass the torch, and I mean, I think he still does. You know, in essence, help to pass the torch. But you know, say some of the older wrestlers and stuff. You got Kabuki, even Muda at this point is getting up there.
Yeah,
I think Muda wrestled for New Japan.
I just feel with like Macho, for example, like I know he did pass the torch to Warrior and the other guys, but like I feel like Macho could have stuck around and been like he could have probably saved the new gen in a lot of ways.
Do you know the backstage on some of that?
Well, I know the bullshit backstage, and then I know some of the other stuff. I know, there's a lot of stuff about Macho during that period.
Yeah, Macho had injured his knee, I want to say. He had an injury, and Vince pretty much put him on the sidelines, and that's why we got Macho Man as a commentator in like 92, 93.
Yeah.
And like Vince was dead set on, no, Macho, you can't wrestle. And then, like Macho went on to WCW. Like, I know you're kind of down on it, but I think that Macho's character work in WCW and some of his matches are amazing.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's bad. It's just that
his best times are behind him.
Yeah, and it became mired by the NWO business, because that kind of hijacks that whole. I think like Macho's best time in WCW for me was around
been blackballed
around World War III era where he took the title and like shot down Hogan. I mean, it didn't work out anyway because obviously Hogan gets what he wants, but like he told him like, this isn't your moment, it's my moment, like that kind of thing. Like that's what I think, because the thing about Macho was always, he's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Like that's just always how it was. So, and that was the thing. Also, he's fucking commentating on WrestleMania 9, and fucking Hogan's wrestling 2 fucking matches when he shouldn't even be on the show. And he should be passing the torch. He should have passed the torch forever ago, and he never did. So it was always like, we're talking a lot about WWF on the AJPW show, but I'm just saying, like, Tenryu, I get the same impression where it's like, I know he passed the torch, but I feel like it wasn't necessarily his time to pass it. Like, I feel like sometimes guys in wrestling get ahead of themselves on, like, which is, better than the alternative of, like, Hogan, but they get to where it's like, it's my time to go, I should put somebody else up. Well, then again, only the wrestlers can decide their own time to go. Like if they want to go, then that's their business. Of course, Macho came back though. But that's
one thing that I think this is making me want to do is like we have a lot of like the backstage details on like a lot of American wrestlers, and I'd really like to know some of the backstage stuff because we're just intimating a lot of these things and kind of sussing it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, like one thing that these shows are making me want to do is like research like the people involved because these are interesting people.
Yes.
Like
and the way the company is. Yeah.
Yeah, the way the company is, because like Giant Baba, like, he is, I want to know if he is like actually creating the shows or if he's more of a figurehead, like I want to know who all is involved.
The
And
higher
yeah,
power,
the Howard Power.
the Howard power.
Um, and so yeah, like I'm really enjoying these shows, and so if we're going to follow the format and everything, so next week will be the next sequential Joshi show, won't it?
Yes, unless we'll probably have one-offs where we do something different once in a while. I mean, we won't do it yet, but sooner or later we could do. For example, when Full Gear rolls around, we can do Full Gear. If there's a big and they're still doing G1 right now, I believe. So when maybe they do the final night of G1, we might want to do that. Obviously, it's not AJPW, but it's Japanese. So stuff like that, we could do some one-offs here and there. We won't do them all the time because otherwise all we would do is the G1 finished. Full Gear happened. The whatever garbage fucking pay-per-view WWE put out, which we will do as a lark sooner or later, just not the Saudi shows because fuck that, and I won't pay any.
No,
I will allegedly not pay anything to watch their content. Fuck off, CIA people listening to this podcast. But yeah. But yes,
I think something that would be interesting is every now and again, like focusing on once we have a little bit more of the library set up, like focusing on a single person. Because, and if I could just put this idea out there, I would love to actually like follow kind of the lineage of Tiger Mask and the various people that have been under that hood, because this is an interesting thing that like dates back to like 1968.
I have an idea. We watch the next show and each of us gets a project.
Okay.
So depending on who's on the Joshi show, we each pick somebody, we let each other know who it is. That way we don't do the same person, because then we just be comparing notes.
No, we do a sealed envelope that we send to each other's post office box.
Well, the next episode will be out in 2024. No.
What? No, I hear the U.S. Post Office is doing great.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. But
what, did something happen?
We'll pick one person apiece, and then we'll just do some research. It doesn't have to be anything extensive. We'll have a little segment for each. It's kind of like how I did this Davey Boy Smith kid business. But that's more depressing, but still. That way we get... last show, who was it? Suzuki? Was that her name?
Minami Toyota?
It was her opponent.
Mima Suzaki.
Yeah, I did research on her on my own after the show because I was like, man, she fucking rules. I love her to death, and I've never seen her or heard about her. And then I looked it up, and it was like, yeah, she's really underrated. She worked in Joshi and AJPW, and then fucking retired. And you were like, yeah, because she's probably made to retire because they did that. I was like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, Giant Baba, who's like 900 years old and best friend is like grew up with the Crypt Keeper, is sitting there with his horrible chicken arms being like, yeah, 25 is just way too old for a woman to be wrestling.
Yes. Also too old for a man, but luckily I am Giant Baba and I'm from outer space, so I can wrestle till I'm 300 years old and my limbs fall off. Yeah, rest in piss. He's dead, right? He's got to be.
Has to be.
He's dead. He's super dead. But no, man of the people. We all love
Giant Baba. We all love him.
Son of a.
We all love Giant.
Son of an alien plumber. Okay, so yes, that's all for this week. Next week we will cover All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling. for the next date in January. I don't have the card, but it'll be awesome. It'll probably have Bull Nakano and I'll die.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these shows, like, there have been a few that, like, are disappointing, but at the same time, I feel are very interesting and required to, like, see the milieu of, like, what is happening at that time.
If I watch through WWF Raw in 1998, I can watch through this. Like, I can go through the ups and downs. It's totally. I watched WWF in fucking 2015, for God's sake. So I think I'll be fine. Didn't we have a sign-off? I forget what we decided on.
God, yeah.
Was it a Wild Pegasus thing?
Oh, yeah. We sign off with threatening someone.
Oh, that's right. We threatened somebody. Who did we threaten last time? It was
it was
Marty Scurll. It was Marty Scurll.
Yeah, it was Marty Scurll. Where I really wanted people to go to Marty Scurll's house and make...
Allegedly. Now that Marty Scurll has been Wild Pegasus, then we'll never hear from him after our top men. Our top men did their duties and took him out. Go on.
We need to look up and see if it's Wild Pegasus or Pegasus Kid, because my brother has me bugging about that.
All right, I'll look this up. Redacted Japan.
Redacted Benoit.
Okay. It was both. It was the Pegasus Kid and Wild Pegasus.
Okay, all right, fine. I like Wild Pegasus better.
This was in New Japan as well, so I don't think we will be seeing him. Not that we would anyway, because he would be replaced by a large black box that would overshadow. But now I have a nomination for this.
Okay.
Week. Have you heard? Now you told me about the WOW stuff. Have you heard the latest? That's a no. That's a no. You would know what I'm talking about. Tessa.
So this is
has a new shirt.
No.
It's a big mushroom cloud, and it says nuclear at the top. And immediately everybody was like, "You can't fucking be serious. Are you joking me?" And now there's pictures of fucking AJ Mendez standing next to Tessa. Like, here we go. Fuck's sake. Okay, so this week's Wild Pegasus, I think we should sign off with, is definitely Tessa Blanchard. Tessa, fuck off. Get fucked, for Christ's sake. Please just go away. I don't know why you're still around. I don't know how anybody cares about you. Get out of here.
Okay. All right, Tessa, I want you to get real close to the microphone. All right. Or to the headset. I hope that while you're out and about on an evening stroll, that someone comes along and Wild Pegasus. And then they pick up a brick and they take that and then they Wild Pegasus.
Oh my God.
And then while you are sitting there staring up at the sun, I want you to make sure that you remember Wild Pegasus. And then finally, when the light leaves your eyes, Wild Pegasus. I hope you have to live with it.
Oh my God. I've never even heard of that position. Is that a judo thing? And I don't think the rest of it's OSHA certified.
Anyway. Oh, no, not at all. God.
Wow. Could she even operate a forklift? Anyway,
I mean, she could be attacked by one.
Oh,
as
you mean beeped by one? Beep beep beep. Anyway,
you mean beep beep.
Till next time, allegedly. Signing off. Have fun.
Till next time, we are the people from Burning Yammer. So have fun and don't become a wild Pegasus.
Yammer on, I guess. Is that a thing?
Yammer on, yeah. Yammer on.
Yikes. Okay.
All right.